Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So, Cryptic Studios have re-released the Expedition Packs. These were released about this time last year, and within them we could obtain the famed Alpha Compy, the companion that has been best for DPS for a very long time now, since Mod 16 came out, granting you a whole bunch of more power. Now with these upcoming changes and to the entire rework of stats etc, is this Alpha Compy still going to be worth its value? Is it still going to be as desired as before? Well, let's find out. First things first, if we go to the Zen market here and we go to the packs, you can see here are all the different multiple expedition packs. Now in my opinion, none of the other expedition packs are worth it, except for perhaps the Chilton Expedition pack, depending if the Alpha Compy still retains its value. The other 5 packs don't really contain anything that's much of value. However, I would say that the Boots of Misty Step within the Twisted Shadows Essentials pack are actually pretty cool and do have a pretty hefty price on the auction house. So you could, yes, theoretically purchase the pack and sell the boots for a decent amount of profit. But returning back to the other packs there, you can see again, unless you want to get the Pacific mount for, let's say, a skin or companion, then they're not really worth it in the end of the day, at least for character progression. And this pack here, the Consult Expedition pack, will contain a bunch of various hairstyles here just for some more fashion, along with, of course, the unique mount, and yada yada. You get what I mean. And the only real thing here that's going to actually impact the progression of your character would be currently the Alpha Compy. And the reason being is it has that utility power to buff up your power by 4%, as is on the epic rarity, and 5% on the legendary rarity. And well, is this Alpha Compy still going to be good with these changes? How is it going to impact our characters now, especially with the fact that power has been capped? Well, let's go ahead and see. So here I am on the preview server on my DPS character, where we can see all the upcoming changes and the entire rework to our stats. Well, with power now being capped at a total of 90%, does this mean the Alpha Compy is going to be useless? Well, you can see right now my current power is 84%. I'm getting there 45% from the actual power rating and 38.9% from other sources. And the major impact on a DPS character for gaining a buff to this power is our actual Forte stat, as it will buff this power up by a whole bunch. For example, my Forte stat there is just 50%, meaning that I will gain 25% power. I'll gain 50% of this as power, 25% as combat advantage, and 25% as deflex severity. So for a DPS character, this is a huge buff to this power, making it very easy to actually cap this out at 90%. I'm currently there at 83-84%, and if I were to go ahead and slot in this Alpha Compy here, which with these changes now gives 7.5% extra power, this being doubled in Chult. Along with that, it gives combined rating, making the Alpha Compy actually pretty useful, especially if I want to cap out this power. Now, I will say this, if you can cap out your power without using the Alpha Compy, which in fact I actually can, I just need to get the stacks on this actual Lion Guard gloves. So we're currently at 84%. Let's go ahead and beat up some mobs, and we'll get those stacks nice and quickly up there. So there we have a total of 18 stacks. Get the last one over here on this bunch of mobs, and there we have 20 of them. And with giving us 20 stacks, it gives us there that increase in our percentage of power, meaning now we're at 89%. We're only 1% away from the cap, meaning there is not much point to actually slot the Alpha Compy, and thus making it actually not that necessary, especially for a DPS character. So on screen here, you can see that pretty much all of the DPS characters do gain that benefit of power from their Forte, And Forte is very easy to stack up because you'll just gain it through straight up combined rating, and then from having dark enchantments in our utility slots, along with also obtaining it through having those dominance insignias, which will also grant you 300 Forte. So no, in my opinion, having the Alpha Compy is not actually worth it anymore. And the main extra buff that I am using to get this power higher is, yes, of course, I am using the buff from the Watermelon Sorbet, which is a huge buff to our power. Let me just kill these mobs real quick so soon it doesn't die. There we go. Where was I? Yes, Watermelon Sorbet. Watermelon Sorbet gives you a buff to power and accuracy, giving that 10%, and this 10% adds to that total, and thus you don't need the Alpha Compy to gain more power. Of course, you could use the Alpha Compy, and then you probably wouldn't even need to use the Sorbet. But that aside, moving back to the live server, and we go ahead and actually look for the price of the Alpha Compy on the auction house, you can see there it's only about 2 million. Meaning buying this pack, that expedition pack there of Chult, just for the Alpha Compy to sell it, would not gain you any amount of profit. So for sure, it is not worth it to purchase this Chultan expedition pack with Zen. If you really want the Alpha Compy, you can always go and purchase it on the auction house for cheaper. But it won't overly be necessary for these new changes, as it's a whole lot easier to actually cap out that power. So that pretty much concludes this. No, the Alpha Compy is no longer worth it to have within the next new build. Of course, if you don't like to use consumables, you can always slot the Alpha Compy, and then you don't have to, let's say, use that watermelon. But that aside, there's nothing really else that's worth it that's going to help your character in progression wise in any of these packs. So my conclusion is no, none of these packs are actually worth it. They only have some cosmetic value. That's pretty much it. So if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I will see you guys around. Goodbye for now.